Ever wonder what happens after we're gone? Not in the spiritual sense, but physically. What truly happens to a dead body sealed inside a coffin for 100 years? It's a question most people don't dare to ask, but it's a mystery buried, quite literally, beneath our feet. And today we're digging into the chilling science behind what really goes on inside that box after the lid is closed. Let's begin, at the very end. The moment a person dies, a fascinating and slightly horrifying process kicks in. Life stops, but the body begins a long transformation. The heart stops pumping, blood flow halts, and without oxygen, the cells in the body begin to break down. This is called autolysis, or more simply, self-digestion. Enzymes that once helped you digest food begin to digest you. Within a few hours, rigor mortis sets in, the stiffening of the muscles. Then, as the internal tissues break down, bacteria that live in your gut escape and begin feeding on your organs. This marks the start of putrefaction, the process responsible for the foul odor associated with death. But what happens after a few days or years? If the body is buried in a traditional coffin 6 feet underground with a sealed casket and embalming fluid, decomposition slows significantly. The embalming chemicals, like formaldehyde, are designed to delay decay but not stop it. Eventually, even a preserved body begins to break down. And it's not just time that does the damage. The environment plays a huge role. In the first 10 years, soft tissues like skin, muscle, and internal organs slowly liquefy. The body loses color, deflates, and shrinks. The coffin may start to collapse under the weight of the soil above it, pushing the body into unnatural positions. If the grave is damp or waterlogged, things get messy. Water accelerates decomposition, and mold or fungi may invade the body, feeding on whatever is left behind. Now fast forward 25 years in. The clothes may still be partially intact, especially synthetic fabrics, but the body has largely been reduced to skeletal remains. The ligaments holding bones together may have rotted away. If the casket wasn't sealed well, or if bugs somehow got in, tiny insects may have feasted on the remains, speeding up the process. The bones, once sturdy, begin to turn brittle. The coffin lining is likely deteriorated, wood rots, metal rusts, and the grave becomes less a final resting place and more a shifting capsule of what once was. But what about 100 years later? At this point, nature wins. The bones, your last real remains, are likely fragmented, porous, and crumbling. Depending on soil acidity, bones can completely dissolve after a century. In some areas, nothing is left but a dark, earth-colored stain where the body once lay. And here's something most people don't know. Coffins don't last forever either. If it was a wooden coffin, it's likely collapsed and absorbed into the soil. A metal coffin may hold up better, but corrosion and environmental pressure eventually breach even the strongest seal. So after 100 years, what's left? Often very little. But sometimes, under rare conditions, bodies can become natural mummies. Cold, dry, or airless environments can preserve bodies far longer than usual. For example, bogs in northern Europe have yielded human remains thousands of years old, with hair and skin still intact. But in most traditional American burials, no such luck. Here's something even more fascinating. Cemeteries have a problem: space. In many old graveyards, especially in older cities, new bodies are buried on top of older graves. In some places, old remains are exhumed, boxed up, and placed in ossuaries to make room for new arrivals. So that forever plot, it's not always as eternal as we imagine. Let's also address the coffin myths you've probably heard. No, bodies don't explode inside coffins, but they do bloat, especially in sealed caskets with no airflow. That gas buildup from putrefaction can cause the body to expand, making clothes pop open or even crack the coffin lid. It's not dramatic like in movies, but it's real science. And those horror stories about people waking up inside coffins? In the old days, it did happen. Before modern medicine, some were declared dead too early. That's why they invented the safety coffin in the 1800s, complete with a bell or string inside just in case. Creepy? Yes, but also a reminder of how far we've come. Today, embalming and preservation are more advanced, but not permanent. No matter the care taken, nature always reclaims its own. So what does all this tell us? That the body we spend a lifetime taking care of is just a temporary vessel. In 100 years, our skin, muscles, organs, even our bones will likely be gone. All that remains is the legacy we leave behind, our story, our impact, our memory in the minds of those still living. Kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it? So next time you walk by a cemetery, don't just think about what lies below. Think about the stories that once lived above. Want to learn more about the hidden science behind everyday mysteries? Make sure to subscribe and follow for the next one. Because the most fascinating questions are often the ones we never think to ask.